Hello, my friends. Welcome to this episode of Healing Your Codependency. I'm Marshall Berkshire, and we're guiding transforming that codependency into confidence, belonging, warmth, purpose, satisfaction in your life. Because those are the results students get as they come to know, be, and live who they are. So that's the big work we do. Before I jump in today, I want to give you a heads up. We're 1 week out from enrollment closing for the Nurture course. So what's the Nurture course? It's my 10-week course in helping you heal loneliness and emptiness and building warmth, belonging, and connection with yourself and with others. So if you're walking around with a sense of loneliness, emptiness, feeling like you're on the outside, never really on the inside, feeling like you don't belong, this is the course for you. We heal this loneliness and emptiness by coming to understand our 10 core needs, connect with them, nurture them both within ourselves and with others. And that allows us to become known, valued, and loved both by ourselves and others. So I'm going to teach you how to do that in the Nurture course. We start on Sunday, March 17th at 12 p.m. All classes are on Sundays at 12 p.m. Enrollment closes next Friday, so you got 7 days to join. And we got a max of like 30 people joining, okay? So right now, I don't even know how many are in it, but we've got past students showing up, and then we got adding 30 new students to the course. So come and join us and learn how to heal that loneliness, that emptiness you walk with, and come to feel filled, warm, feel like you feel that sense of belonging that you deserve to have in your world. So link is below in the description, and it's at my website at healyourcodependency.com if you're listening via podcast. So that's healyourcodependency.com. Today we're going to jump into the three types or the three movements that create connection. So much of the time, we don't understand connection. We assume we understand it. And we're coming from more of an implicit experience of connection where, with person A, I felt seen, or I felt like they understood me, or they got me. Person B, they don't. Or like I'm really into person A, but they're not really reciprocating this to me, and I'm going to try to change that, get into an anxious attachment style and try to make it, or person A is really coming at me intensely and I'm going to withdraw, that's the avoidant attachment showing up. Notice how all of these are movements. Someone is moving towards another person in some way. So when I started to understand my codependency, I started to understand attachment and attachment systems and how they worked. And then I started to see my own behaviors showing up in my attachment, my relationships. I noticed three specific things happening. I noticed, number one, that I had an internal relationship to myself that was in this movement with other people. And then I noticed that I was moving towards others, and others were more moving towards me. Now, sometimes I was moving towards others in response to something within myself. Sometimes I was moving towards myself in response to something, in response to a movement someone made towards me. Sometimes I was moving towards myself in response to a movement I was making towards another. All of these point to three specific things that we're doing that either result in a sense of connection, warmth, and belonging, or don't. And specifically, that's what's going on are these three things. Number one, you have the movement of you to yourself. This is how you relate to your internal world, to your needs, to your wants, to your feelings, to your boundaries, to your limitations. It's how you're relating to yourself and your sense of self-worth, who you see yourself as, what you see yourself worthy of having and not having, what you say yes to, what you say no to in your world. Basically, what you're choosing and not choosing. That's our first movement, you to you. So think of this of like a triangle. The triangle has three sides. One of those sides is you to you. That's your first movement. Second movement is you to others. How you are sharing your wants, needs, feelings, desires, limits, your person with this other individual. It's how you're asking for things. It's how you're contributing to their world. It is your side of the interaction with them. And that brings us to the third movement we have, and that is others to you. This is how they're responding to your bids for attention, connection, affection, or even correction, like you want to adjust something in the relationship. It's how they're sharing their wants, their needs, their boundaries, their limits, their capacities, their person with you. So in this, we have those three movements going on that create a sense of connection or a sense of dysfunction in our world. So again, that's you to yourself, how you're relating to you to others and how you're relating to them, and then others to you and how they're relating to you. Now, all of these are interdependent movements, meaning they are not siloed into themselves and then sometimes work together. They're actually all happening at the same time. So I look at them as an interdependent experience of connection or dysfunction. Now, in my work, we focus specifically and very deeply on movement number 1, which is you to yourself, because that is where our power is. That is where we have the greatest ability to create impact in the other two sides of this triangle. So when I'm relating to myself, it's built on self-worth first. How we relate with ourselves all depends on whether or not we perceive ourselves as being inherently worthy of love and belonging, of being known, of being contributed to, and being worthy to contribute to others. That's it. Our self-worth governs all of that. So in my work, we have this thing called indomitable worth, which is the inherent or innate worth that we have as a human being. It's autonomous. It is worth beyond all conditions. It doesn't depend on any conditions for it to exist. And it allows us to govern ourselves from a place of clarity, honesty, and alignment for ourselves. So a lot of times in codependency, we are tangling our worth up with someone else's approval or disapproval. And this skews how we relate to ourselves. Thus, it skews how we relate to them and how we interpret their relating to us. So the connection, the triangle connection becomes, or the triangle of connection becomes very distorted when our sense of worth is misaligned in that way. If it's externally oriented, if it's dependent on external factors, then how we relate to others and what we tolerate from others relating to us becomes very, very problematic, skewed, and typically dysfunctional. But if we are relating to ourselves from our inherent, innate worth, and we're able to tap into and align with that, and then cultivate that connection there, then how we relate to others becomes very, very honest. Because we know what we want, what we don't want. We know what our boundaries and our limits are. We know who we are and what we're looking for in our life. And then we're able to pragmatically address or analyze the other person and go, well, how do they show up? Does this align with what I'm looking for? Does this make sense to me? Are they relating to me in a way that satisfies me, that engages me, that enlivens me? Do I feel fulfilled in this experience of connection, or is there dysfunction and frustration going on? When we approach relating this way, it gives us the ability to look at dysfunction and frustration that's going on in the relating experience more pragmatically. Is it a factor of compatibility, or is it a factor of like maturity, like growing a skill, growing one's self-awareness, resolving a dysfunctional skill set? Is it a matter of understanding? Like, do I really understand how they work and what they need and how they need it? Do they understand how I need things done or want things done for my needs and wants? And then do I even understand that? And then can I share that with them? It gives us the ability to get introspective and extrospective, the ability to see what's going on internally and externally, and then address it. Because the whole goal with these three movements is to experience a sense of connection. That sense of connection shows up in our felt sense as a warmth, as an openness, as a playfulness, as an ease, as a relaxation, as a sense of home, a sense of belonging, and we're excited and engaged to be with those people. But when there's dysfunction and it cannot be resolved, it leads to incompatibility, and then it makes sense for us to move on from that connection. So let's look at loneliness, emptiness, and needs with this triangle of connection. So loneliness can happen in each of these three stages. One of the primary focuses of the Nurture course is the you to yourself loneliness. This is where we feel disconnected from who we are, from our own emotions, from our own intuitions, from our own being, our own body. Now we're externally oriented. We're seeking this through other people, places, and things. We're not able to relate effectively with others because we're seeking some sense of self through them, some sense of validation or worth or reassurance that we're okay as a person, even safety, connection, self-worth can be derived through that. That's those three necessities that codependency is trying to get met for us. Yeah. So in the Nurture course, we focus first on warming up to ourselves, restoring connection and belonging to ourselves so that we are no longer externally trying to derive that for ourselves. This will help us start ending the people-pleasing cycles, the perfectionism cycles. It's going to activate more of our internal advocate so we can ask for things, say no to things, confront problems, and make change in our world. So we start there with that sense of loneliness with ourselves. Loneliness with others is our relational needs for friendship, connection, community, belonging, support. And when we know we have that need talking, then we can assess our community and see who would be a best fit for that need. We can say, hey, I really want to go out to a movie, have some fun. Well, that's person A. I reach out, hey, person A, would you like to go out to a movie and some dinner, have some fun? They're like, yeah, I can do that next Thursday. Okay, boom, we go do that. That's how that would work. Now, maybe you're looking for more of a deep connection, more intimate connection. Then you would be able to assess your community and see if there's opportunities there. And if not, then you go out and start to procure opportunities. And that's you moving towards others. And then their responses, their movement towards you, helps you understand if they're aligned or compatible with that helps you understand if they're aligned or compatible with you. And that's what we call dating. So that's how basically loneliness is worked through in the triangle of connection. Now, emptiness is a different one. Emptiness is a part of us not known to us. We are not connected with this part. It feels void. It feels barren. It feels unoccupied or unknown. This is a you to yourself connection that needs to happen there. Now, it's also reflective of a others to you experience in your past. As well as a you to others, because as a child, you were out doing your things, being your child self, and you didn't receive the necessary reflection from like parents, caregivers, or other adults that said, hey, I see you're feeling this, or hey, that looks like that really matters to you, you're really interested in that. You didn't get feedback about your feelings, your wants, your behaviors, desires, your person. And they didn't say, I see you're just a beautiful person. I'm so happy you exist in my life. They didn't share with you accolades about things they like about who you are, about skills or talents, unless it was to their benefit. Those kind of things didn't happen. So we didn't gain a deep reflection of ourselves. So we walk around a little unknown to ourselves. I don't know who I am. Maybe I don't feel real. That would be a really deep expression of this kind of neglect. So when dealing with emptiness, we're actually dealing with a you to you relationship that was not formed in your interactions with you to others and others to you in that triangle of connection. So in the Nurture course, we actually lean into that emptiness and start to come to know what it's telling you. We start to inquire, hey, what else is here? What else is in this emptiness? And we allow that awareness to start to come forward. And this is where we start restoring that you to you connection to these parts of yourself that have been exiled or lost or unknown for most of your life. This is how we start to fill in the emptiness, because we start to know what's in it. Because it's not empty at all. It's actually really occupied with a lot of wisdom and clarity going on there. And then with needs. So how does this triangle of connection work with needs? It is how needs get fulfilled. Internally with myself, I have a need for connection. I'm lonely. I reach out to person A. I get a connection with them. They reciprocate it. Boom. Need fulfilled. It is the means of fulfilling our needs. Now, sometimes we're going to have to meet our own needs exclusively. Like in my work, we meet the need of self-worth first and foremost. That is our primary job. Like, I have self-worth, and here's how I align with it. Here's how I tune into it. Here's how I trust and embody and express. I call that the indomitable worth process. And then I can go out into the world and relate socially in a way that empowers me to choose people that respect and value my worth rather than define and establish that worth. That's the key there. But then other needs we have, like a sense of acceptance, a sense of play, a sense of protection, intimacy, being valued as a person. That's our you to others and others to you interaction going on. So when we know what our real core needs are, and we have 10 core emotional needs, when we know what they are, we know how they signal us, they know how they talk to us, then we can go out and meet them because we'll know how they need to be met. And that's how we go out and relate with people. It's how when I know how my need for attention gets met and satisfied, then I can choose people, places, and things that meet that need effectively, and that's where I have much greater satisfaction in my life. So in the Nurture course, we explore how those 10 core needs work for you, and then you can go out and start building community with people, places, and things that nurture you that way. That's a long process. It's not going to happen instantly. But when we start it and we start getting engaged with it, we start discovering what works and what doesn't, and that helps us improve our choices of who we bring into our life, the quality of our relationships and friendships, and ultimately raises our level of satisfaction and our sense of belonging and being connected in our world. None of that happens if we don't understand how we're actually relating with ourselves first, and then with others, and how they're relating with us. And that's why I teach the triangle of connection in all of my relating courses, including Transformation, Relate, and then the Trauma Bond course called Liberate, as well as Nurture. And so this is fundamental to our healing. It's also taught in Foundation, which is the foundation for restoring your self-worth, your belonging, and your safety so that you can heal your codependency. So my friends, this triangle is running your life. It is the means of attachment and connection in our world. When you understand how it's functioning for you, then you can improve your connections with yourself and with others and experience more satisfaction in your life. So if you want help on this, Nurture is available for you. The live classes start March 17th, 2024. The on-demand edition will be available shortly after that. Link is below in the description, as well as at my website at healyourcodependency.com. My friends, thank you for showing up for this episode. Let me know your thoughts on what you learned today, what you gained, what you got questions about. Post those in the comments below, and I'll get to you there. I might even make videos on them because there's some really cool questions and insights you guys give me. So keep those coming. I appreciate you. Go gently, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. So thank you for watching this episode. And you want more episodes like this, check out the recommended video above. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're ready to take the leap and heal your codependency, check out my workshop linked below on how to heal codependency permanently. Then you can understand how I help you restore safety, connection, and worth in your life, and how that liberates you from your codependency and empowers you in creating the relationships, the satisfaction, fulfillment you want in your life. So check that out below. Thank you again for showing up, guys. Bye-bye.